just go live in Ireland and let us never hear from you ever again. Welcome back. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic, Trump completely destroyed Jasmine Crockett and the Dems. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
I think we have a tremendous party. And you know what I can't name? I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats, they're in total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said, she's the future of the party. I said, you have to be kidding. I don't know what they're going to do. And I really believe in a two-party system. Because it's good to be challenged. It's really good to have a two-party. You know, it's good. Being challenged is okay. It keeps you sharp. I don't know what they're going to do. They have nobody. Bernie's 87 years old or something. And, you know, Biden is the worst thing that ever happened to old people because he was grossly incompetent. And I think maybe for artificial reasons. You know, he had operations and things. So maybe that's an artificial. But I know people that are unbelievably sharp, and they're older than 87. But I watch Bernie Sanders. He's a nut job, but he's still sharp. He's sharp as he's the same guy he was. He hasn't gone down. But Biden is really, he's the worst thing to happen to old people.
Yeah, so basically everything he said there is true. This Crockett woman is just such a low IQ individual, and the fact that she's even being considered as some sort of rock star, superstar for the Dems is just completely insane, folks. Completely insane. She's basically a ghetto, you know. She's bringing the ghetto to the party type person, you know. And with the Dems in general, when are they going to pivot into something? You know what I'm saying? They have to pivot into something. They can no longer just make everything about, you know, illegals, trans, Ukraine. Are they even making anything about Ukraine anymore? Because Trump pretty much is putting a bow on that whole situation. You know, that's going to be a nice, you know, Nobel Peace Prize for Trump there. But yeah, it's like this whole notion that the Dems even have any sort of somebody, maybe a Stephen A. Smith, he's kind of, you know, emerging as a candidate, but I guess he would be the probably the most sane person who's claiming to be a Democrat right now. But yeah, until they pivot and until they get away from these Jasmine Crockett type people, they're doomed, folks. They are doomed. But all right, let's get on to the next topic here. So Charlamagne Tha God basically wants slavery. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Yes, sure, it sounds good in theory. Let's manufacture stuff in America, but it costs too much motherfucking money to manufacture things in America. But does it have to?
I don't know if it costs too much.
But that's my point. Does it have to?
I don't think it costs too much. I think that that's a convenient lie that they tell us. I think you can manufacture things here. And then people go, oh, a cell phone costs $30,000. He goes, I bet you $1 million fucking dollars it don't cost them $30,000 once you start making it.
That's what I'm saying. Does it have to? They say that, right? Man, it just costs too much to manufacture in America. Does it have to? Why does it?
Well, it costs the companies. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to cost the consumer.
But why does it cost the companies?
Because you got to pay people much larger wages than they're getting paid overseas. So if you brought all this manufacturing back to America, like, and it's factory jobs and it's mass production, like, are you going to pay everybody $15 an hour, or are you going to pay them $45 an hour?
Well, you know what you do. You build the manufacturers and stop the deportation. And you take the people that you're deporting and put them in those factories and pay them those low wages.
No, but on the real, part of the problem is
that's kind of slavery. It's not exactly. But
I didn't say anything about slavery. I'm just saying that you build the factories and you take the people who actually want to work in those factories for those low wages and let them go.
You want to find a way to build a fit this that it can be function here. Simple as that.
But we also have to be real. Americans, for the most part, don't want those jobs.
Stop it. I don't subscribe to that. Stop it. That's bullshit. I don't believe that. Bullshit rhetoric that they tell you.
Well, if they don't, stop deporting the people and let them work.
No, Americans will do jobs.
Yeah, so that was basically one of the dumbest things I've ever heard right there. And the guy's saying stuff, but he has absolutely no clue what he's saying. He completely just advocated for slave labor right there and paying illegal slave wages. I mean, like, that is what they always advocate for. Whenever they talk about illegals, it's always like, oh, just let them pick the crops because nobody's going to want to pick your crops. Frankly, I don't believe that either. I feel like somebody's going to want to pick the crops because somebody's going to need money. Why don't we get the homeless people out there picking the crops? They're not even homeless, they're drug addicts, you know, but let's get them out there doing it, right? I mean, and you know, just get them in these jobs that are basically not even really entry level jobs, more just like, yeah, this is like a halfway house job, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that the guy doesn't even realize that he's advocating for slave labor, and like, you know, he's like thinks he's got some sort of crazy just new age idea. Oh, just let the illegals come here or just stay here and we'll just pay them nothing to work in the factories and do the manufacturing job. Okay, dude, yeah. So you basically don't realize that we have to pay people a living wage here, you know, minimum wage at least, right? But he just thinks you can magically just, oh no, we're just going to go against this living wage, minimum wage for these illegals over here. Yeah, it's called paying people under the table. That's basically what it's called. And Trump's just trying to get rid of all the illegals. So it's like, yeah, we're not going to be doing that. We want to just get them out of here and then let, you know, Americans who maybe aren't on like the greatest trajectory do those types of jobs, you know? It's a great way to get people off the streets and into a job. But all right, let's get to the next topic here. Sean Penn apparently thinks Trump's going to end the world. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
But before Bukele gets to that point where he's dealing with another leader, we should consider worst case scenarios. And I do think it's a reasonable theory that Donald Trump is not unlike the spouse of someone who leaves him perhaps for another, who then murders their former partner, because if they can't have her, nobody can. And I think Donald Trump in his solipsism may have that relationship with the world, and that this destruction is in part a power play and also a literal intention of his final out.
You think he'll try to stay on?
I think he might try to destroy the world before he ages out of life.
Yeah, so this has got to be the dumbest one yet. I mean, Sean Penn claiming Trump's going to play the jilted lover card where if he can't have the world, nobody can have the world, and I'm going to destroy it so nobody gets it. Like, dude, are you really that crazy to think that Trump is going to do something like that? Trump wants to make the world a better place for everybody, and the guy's doing it. Like I said, the Ukraine war, he's buttoned up that, the ceasefire in Gaza. He's making the world a better place. He's not destroying the world, and they can't stand that the guy is actually making the whole world a better place. And he's basically being beloved around the world by multiple countries and, you know, cultures. There's a lot more Trump love around the world than people let on and that you know and that you see in the media, because they're never going to let you know that the world just is so happy Trump's back in office and just establishing some sort of order again so that the world isn't destroyed, right? Biden was trying to destroy the world. I mean, look at how many wars started taking place under Biden, all the bullshit. Yeah, he wanted the world destroyed. Trump, saving the world. And Sean Penn, I don't know what happened to Sean Penn. He's like doing an interview from some sort of bunker or something. The guy is just completely lost it, obviously. He's gone full TDS, which you would expect from these Hollywood types. But man, just to be spewing crap like that, I mean, the guy's gone completely off the rails. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So Rosie O'Donnell thinks Trump is in cognitive decline. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Good. I'm having a great time. Until I start to hear about what's happening in the United States. And it's so overwhelming. And when are people going to start to realize how much he is in a cognitive decline? How he can't form coherent thoughts or sentences. He had a speech the other day and he couldn't say the word anonymous. He was like, it was a something is very off with him. And, you know, there's a 25th Amendment, or isn't that what it is? When you can say our president is not with it enough anymore to be the leader of the free world. And aren't we there? Aren't we there? And the delusion is deep with his followers, I have to say. I don't quite understand it. This, rich man who is desecrating all that we hold sacred in the United States of America.
Isn't it funny how these people try to since Biden was in such decline and we were saying it the whole time and like basically pointing that out, now they got to pretend like to get one back on Trump in that regard as like, oh no, Trump's in decline now. You thought our candidate was in decline. No, Trump's in decline. You know, it's like, all right, Rosie, come on. So he couldn't pronounce the word anonymous maybe one time. Like, I don't know when this clip was. I mean, I didn't see this clip, this anonymous clip, but come on. The guy is out there just doing more than, every 25-year-old in the world right now. Like, the guy is just killing it as far as just getting out there and going places, doing everything and doing interviews and just press conferences. The guy is completely killing it, and his mind is just sharp as a tack. You can tell the guy's mind is sharp as a tack. This is just another Rosie trying to make up fake crap where she's just putting it out there like, oh yeah, I saw like Trump, he's in decline, and his followers are even more delusional. They can't see it either. It's like, come on, Rosie. We get it. You hate the guy. You've hated the guy. You're probably the original, Trump hater, Trump TDS. You actually moved to Ireland. Good for you. But this one, Rosie, just shut up and just go live in Ireland and let us never hear from you ever again. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you.